Hello, welcome to Switched On, Paul speaking, and today looking at a really special game that I've been looking forward to for some time, and that is 51 Worldwide Games, which comes of course from Nintendo, and a big thanks to them for sending over a review copy for me. This will set you back $40 or just under in the United States, £35 in the UK, and it came out on Friday the 5th of June. So what we're going to do with this is, everyone's sort of reviewed this. The review embargo was early part of last week, and it's been sort of reviewed to death. And obviously, if you've been keeping an eye on this one, and if you've watched any of those reviews, you know it's reviewing very well. It's an excellent game, absolutely superb. One of my most anticipated games. A big fan of 42 classic games on the Nintendo DS. So what I'm going to do a little bit different is I'm going to give you a very brief overview of the game now, as I'm sure, as I say, you don't really need. But what I'm going to do then is make a little series of videos just focusing on some of the games that I really enjoy and just showing them off in a little bit more detail, which I don't think anybody else has done to any great degree. So hopefully that will be very helpful to you. So 51 Worldwide Games. What is this all about? Well, it's as the name suggests, there's 51 games from around the world. It's actually 52 games in inverted commas, because right at the end here we have got a piano. And even that can double up if you flick your switch upside down. It actually becomes an organ, and that's quite a lot of fun to play with. And also, like a couple of these games, can be used in what's called Mosaic Mode. So if you're lucky enough to have more than one switch in your house, you can put them next to each other and enable Mosaic Mode, which means that the screen will spread out across the two switches, and you can use them both as if they were joined together. You can also do that with, I think, sliding puzzle, and certainly can do it with slot cars as well. So let's have a quick look at how the front end looks. You can play a game on a single system, and that's with 1, 2, 3 or 4 players. Each player needs their own Joy-Con. Just as a word of warning, which somebody did actually point out on my Discord, the game only supports one Pro Controller. So if you want to play 2, 3, 4 players, each of your own Pro Controller, oddly, and I don't know why, it seems to be a bit of a Nintendo thing, but you can only use one Pro Controller. If you play more than one player, you will need to use the Joy-Cons. Very much, if you played Mario Party, very much the same as that. So we've got the single system play. Local play here is you can link up more than one Switch and play up to 4-player multiplayer, including the free, what they're calling Guest Edition, which is a free download from the shop. And it allows you, if you haven't got a copy of the game, or if you've only got one copy in your house but multiple Switches, you can play multiplayer. The other person who doesn't own the game can fire up the Guest Edition and link up and play multiplayer games. A bit like the Nintendo DS Link Play, I think it was called. So that's really cool. Recommend that. And then finally, we've got online play. You can play against friends, and if you do play against friends, you can use the Nintendo Online app to chat, or you can play randomly with anyone from around the world. Now, I've been playing some darts with one of my Discord buddies, and that works really well. I've also played plenty of random games, so let's just go into that and see how that works. Takes a couple of seconds to connect, but then you get a list of the available games. Not all 51 games are available to play online. I think there are 47 of the 51 games that you can play online. And what you do is you choose 3 games that you want to play, and the system will try and match you with someone. Now, rather handily as well, if you notice here, some of these game icons have got a little orange figure in the bottom corner. That means there's actually someone at the moment waiting to start a multiplayer game. So that's really helpful as well. So say, for example, your favourite game is Texas Hold'em. You can see here that someone's waiting to play that. So you'd pick that as your first game. I don't know, billiards. Someone's waiting to play that. So you play it as your second game. Someone's waiting to play 8-ball. And I don't know, maybe you could pick bowling as your third game. Game of 301. And then the game would go off and try and match you up. And then while it's doing that, you can actually carry on playing single player games in the background. And then when the game connects with the other person worldwide, you'll come out of that single player game and start your multiplayer game, which is really excellent. I love that system. Let's have a quick look at some of the games. As I say, we're going to be going through these in some more detail, so keep an eye out for that. I'm going to try and link them all up in the description and stick them all in a playlist for you. But some of these games that I was most interested in were these arcade sort of games, rather than sort of board games and card games. You've got these sort of more arcadey type games. You've got golf, billiards. Within billiards, you can play 9 and 8 ball pool. Bowling, a few variations of bowling, a few variations of darts. A game that I really started to enjoy, and that's called Carom. And it's kind of a mixture between curling and pool, I guess. You're sort of flicking counters into little holes in the corner of the board, and I'll probably show that one off because it's a really enjoyable game. Tennis, these sort of slot games where you're moving your players along certain predefined slots. Tennis isn't a game that I particularly like anyway, and the toy version here doesn't really do much for me. Football's a bit frenetic, but can be quite fun once you get the hang of it. And again, probably be one that will show off, so keep an eye out for that. Curling is really good. Boxing is very simplistic and was a little bit of a letdown. What I might do is some of these games that are not as good, I might stick them in their own video, just sort of flick through a couple of them at a time. Baseball is absolutely superb, definitely be having a separate video for that. Air hockey is a lot of fun, as is slot cards. So these arcade games, highly recommended. This game here, 6-ball puzzle, really good as well. It's more like a match 3 sort of game, or obviously a match 6 in this case, but that's really recommended. So yeah, there's plenty to choose from. What I will do is try and get a nice diverse selection of the games, stick them in a playlist for you, and you can have a look at some of those. So that's 51 worldwide games on the Nintendo Switch. Just a very quick overview of how some of that works. Absolutely love this game, recommend it through the roof. For the price, it's an absolute bargain as well. £35 in the UK, $40 in America, less than $1 a game. You can't go wrong. So hope you enjoyed that quick overview. Please keep an eye out for those other videos following on from this one. Hopefully there's one of these showcase videos that appeals to you. And until then, I thank you all for watching and see you all next time. Thanks guys, bye bye.